Hey guys, KZKen34, StudioPrimeHD. Today we're going to be going over the Mograph tab, and every week, about twice a week, we'll be doing one of these things, going all the way down the list. Hopefully guys, we'll be able to help you guys out. So let's just take this cloner object and bring it in. That's what we're going to be doing today. Take this cloner object, when you first bring it in, you're not going to see anything. That's because you need something to clone. Let's get this cube, press T, and scale it down. Take the cube, put it in the cloner object, and you'll have these three cubes come up. And the default mode with the cloner object is always going to be linear. And if you click this little dot here when you're on the cloner object, you can drag it around. You'll always have a straight line no matter what, unless you mess with these values down here, and I'll show you in a second what you can do with that. So you got the line, you can mess around with that. You can play with these values right here too. If you want to keyframe them, you can move your line this way too. That's how you're gonna have to keyframe it. You can change the rotation on them right here, and your counts right here, how many you want, and your offset of the origin. Your origin's right there, this little dot. So we're gonna keep that at 0. And this tab right here is your clones tab. If you mess around with this, you're not gonna see any difference at first. You need another clone in here. So let's just make a sphere, scale it down, put it in here. Now you have your blending mode. You'll see both of them. Iterate is every other one, so sphere, cube, and so on. And you can also drag another object in here, and it will still do the same thing. Scale that down, put it in here. It'll be every other one now. Cylinder, sphere, cube, cylinder, sphere, cone. Where I get cylinder, cone, sphere, cube, and you'll just iterate that. You can put as many as you want in there. You have your random, which is just random, and your seeds right here. Your seed is like different randoms you can get. Sort is whatever one's on the top of your hierarchy, and blend pretty much goes from small to big, or big to small to big, whatever. And down here is your rotation tab. This is really cool. You can actually bend your line and have it like curl and stuff. You can keyframe it all right here. I think that's really cool actually. So that's that. Your next thing you can do is let's go to our next option, which is radial. Let's go to radial. You're going to see a little sphere right here, or circle. You can stretch it out by clicking this dot and dragging, and you can make it bigger by doing this too. Let's up our count. Change this mode to iterate, because I like iterate, and just now let's go over these things. Your start angle, you can have it grow on if you put it up to here, and then grow it on all the way, or you can grow it halfway, and then have the other way, your end angle grow in the other way. So you can do that. Your offset, I don't know the point of this for this, but your offset variation changes the space between each clone. So it's a 7% change. Now, as you go up, you'll see that it's going to be different. So it's basically not putting the same amount of space between each clone. Like you can see this one's smaller than this one. And you got your plane right here. You can change on the plane, whatever plane it's on. Alright, let's go to our next tab. We're flying on through. Your grid array. You can see a grid here. You can drag it apart by clicking these dots again. And you can also do it by doing it right here. And you keyframe it right here too. You can up the count. 4, 4, 4. I usually like to keep it all the same because it's a good square. You got your cubics, sphere, and your cylinder. You can mess around with that. And your fill option, if you don't have it all the way up, let's say 50%, it'll take some clones out of there and not fill it in as much as it is. So I like to keep it on 100 if I use it. Again, you got all this stuff here. Random, blend. I just like iterate right now. And our last option will be object. And when you go to object, you're not going to see anything. Let me delete this cone and take the sphere out for now. I'm going to scale the sphere up to this, and click on our cloner, and in your object tab you want your clones to appear on the sphere. So your cubes, your clones cubes are now going to come up on the sphere. And you can mess around with these options down here. You can change the up vector to like have the cubes kind of be on the sphere different on different planes. So you can mess around with them. You got your modes down here. This is the kind of important part. You got your modes where you can mess around with the offset, which is the space between each one again. That actually looks pretty cool. You got all these different modes you can mess around with. Polygon, center, surface, and you can up your count here. Volume, tries to put them on the inside, I'm pretty sure. Random. Oh, you can change the volume mode too. Okay. And that's about it for that. But when you put your if you have your cloner object and you want to put it on, like your clones on a text maybe. So if we got a text out, let me delete this sphere. Let me scale our text up a little. Hold on. And you got your cloner object. You drag the text in there. You're gonna have different options. So your mode types are gonna be different. So let's say we had step. You can up the step, bring it down, and then bringing it down gives you more cubes. It looks like even, which is my favorite because you can just up the count to whatever you want. Offset variation, space in between each cube is different. You can have it grow on by using this option. Like all the cubes grow on. Smooth rotation will like curve out the edges for you. So yeah, like it curves around the end of the T instead of just a straight turn. You got your rate down here. I'm not really sure what it does, and got count. All this stuff you can just mess around with. I never use vertex though because I just don't know how to work it. I'm not sure what this rail option does either. So that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. We'll be going over the matrix object next week, and maybe the fracture with it too, depending how fast we go. The cloner object had a lot of stuff to go over, and I hope you guys enjoyed it and you learned some stuff. And one last thing, the transform tab, you can if you change the position, it's gonna come off your spline or whatever you have them cloned on. You can rotate the cubes here too. I don't usually mess around with it. I'll just have the effectors do it, which we'll be going over another time. So I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys later.